Yes, as far as I've probably already established that before, ever since the last video of this, I will promise you guys I would be able to actually switch between those different kinds of Yoshis for this point, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, you know I'm feeling incredibly bad for able to actually not showing the rest of them, so even then I will able to actually switch between now to Wii Yoshi to, Cookie Yoshi, so that makes it a little bit more of a food variation or something like that, so... Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I am Duffy Duck here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Yoshi's Woolly World for the Nintendo Wii U, or in this case, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World for the Nintendo 3DS. So last time we did manage to able to fully completely done with the forms of World 2, and also we managed to able to get things started with World 3, specifically for those first two levels. So today for this episode is the fact that we might as well able to still continue things on in World 3, and eventually we might actually just decide to go after all sorts of collectibles and all that such. So here we go with level 3-3, Scarf Roll Scamper. I think that's what the actual level itself is usually going to call it, but even then I will jump right at in, so even then let us get this thing to it. Now, if you guys can clearly tell already, this is actually my second attempt for able to do this recording session. It's nothing to do with the forms of the footage once again, but it's just that, once again, that our current microphone does have us a lot of issues, because I swear I did not even jinx it or anything, and as a result of that kinds of stuff, when this keeps on happening to me for the majority of these days, especially noticeable whenever I was hopefully trying to able to wrap things up with Pac-Man World, and all the other jazz and all that such, including this game as well, and especially noticeable in the next few Let's Plays coming up, most notably with the new Zelda Let's Play and all that such. Well, because of the actual celebration for Link's Awakening Remake will be on its way. Now, I believe we've only got about 9 more days to go, actually, whenever that particular remake is about to come. But either way, though, that's besides for another topic for a later day, but even then, I will, mention about that kinds of stuff by that time. So even then, though, aside from everything else, though, is the fact that, no matter what though, if that keeps on happening to me on the my original microphone that we did manage to able to use it on, no matter what though, I have to rack it onto someplace else. Most notably because, well, I just seriously almost gonna give up on that specific microphone as it is, because, well, thankfully though we still got a new one though, but we're still working on it until, 2020 will be approaching, so I just want to point things out right away. There might be some times about the fact that you're going to be hearing all kinds of glitchy sound clips on my commentary sakes. It's nothing bad on the forms of the game capture so far, which, to be honest with you, because of how the fact that, well, it just managed to does it so well. But either way though, I just want to point things out about the fact that I have some very stupidly luck with all these, microphone issues and all that such. But either way though, that's besides the point right there, and I'm hoping the actual voice itself will be okay as it is, but then again, we'll find things out throughout the majority of the future at this point in time. But even then though, let's get this thing to it with Yoshi's Woolly World as it is, so even then though, because of that though, I just have no idea why I felt it like that. So even then though, today's day is the forms of the 11th of September, in this case in 2019, and looks like so far is the fact that we've, as I said before, we've only got about 9 more days to go until the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake will be on its way on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm really looking forward to that though. And then, although, kind of think about it though, is the fact that I would similarly to say that I'm actually going to take a break on this game for quite some time, especially noticeable with, at some point during the likes of in October sometime, or maybe November or less, because of how the fact that, well, I was similarly to say that Mario definitely needs to wrap things up with Super Mario Odyssey at some point in this year, so even then though that, hopefully though, you would able to actually catch up back onto the forms of Super Mario Odyssey at some point in, I would say next week, because, well, alongside with my Pac-Man World videos, which I also need to be planned out while doing, and because of that though, I think we should probably, during the forms of next week, I should probably, replace, Yoshi's Woolly World set of parts, and into likely, Super Mario Odyssey videos by that time, because that way, it should able to actually work things out until the 1st of October, that we might actually get ourselves yet another brand new Let's Play at some point in the future, most notably with, well, we're not going to spoil things, too much specifically details about it, because, well, you know, you might as well just wait and find out until when it gets to the point until the 1st of, October and stuff, so even then though. But then again, we need to take ourselves a little bit too easy when it comes to current Let's Plays alike, because, well, although apart from there are some specific channels that usually holds up for the current, set of Let's Plays for quite a long time, specifically for, you know, Cap King 74 has managed to hold up for several Let's Play parts for quite some time, especially by the forms of, like, let's just say, you know, Super Paper Mario, and especially Luigi's Mansion, and especially noticeable with likely, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat or something like that. But either way though, I'm getting a little bit off topic for this point. So even then though, you know, you get the idea for this point today is the fact that, well, I was doing that tomorrow, that, the Tokyo Game Show is, I think it's still continuing, but to be more accurate though, I think it's going to be mainly focusing on some Sega stuff next, which, I'm really hoping they're actually going to be bringing up something new to the table. Well, we already know about some more information about the forms of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 right now, thanks to the forms of the Nintendo Direct as well as Gamescom 2019, but hopefully we'll bring up something else more to the table to top it off as well. And similarly, by the forms of Sonic at the Olympic Games on the iOS devices on Tokyo 2020 Olympics game. And we might actually get something new on that game at some point, from one form or another. And speaking of which, though, is the fact that I was assuming that we've only got about 2 weeks to go until Mario Kart Tour on the iPhone devices will able to actually come. So, yeah, so much releases by that time for this month. So even then, I'm really looking forward to that specific stuff for this, by that point in time. Oh, goody, we got ourselves a bonus game, because, well, we haven't done any single of those bonus games for quite a long time, ever since in World 1. So even then, we'll figure out when I was able to do that. And because I'm going to be keep on using several badges and likes, so this means about the fact that I could easily just manage to able to do that kinds of stuff. Now, whenever I manage to decide to able to go for 100% completion, which I'm still currently doing right now, in my own time, whenever I manage to finish up with this game first of all, that I'm actually going to be able to actually, complete the, done with the forms of the actual, like, sketch, flower ranking system, because either way, though, once I've, done with that, then I can, now finally jump in onto, Yoshi's Crafted World at some point next year. Well, I don't think Piglet can able to actually tackle for that game, honestly, but to be more accurate, though, either Sylvester or Sonic might actually tackle through, likely, Yoshi's Crafted World at some point next year. Now, for those of you probably wondering about, what about Warrior Land The Shake Dimension, you're probably wondering. Well, we'll work on that, because, well, at the moment right now, we are mainly focusing on some of these, you know, mainly focused, Let's Plays, as we set this countless amount of times from the past. So even then, I just want to point things out right away. So even then, though, I think that takes care of this level. Everything's all 100% all glory. And because we actually got ourselves our sketched up flower, this means we actually completely done with that particular level. So here we go with World 3-4. It appears to be another 4th level. And this time we have the returning boss fight from World 1. To be more specifically, the mid-boss, as far as I'm aware. Big Montigolier's, Bubble Fort. And as far as this level suggests, is that this place is going to be filled with bubbles everywhere. And you can't really pop them unless if you're able to let that, specifically those Shy Guy Spear enemies can able to do a lot of work. Because if you somehow do, well, if you do let them just trying to deal with all that stuff you weren't able to do, then it does it for you. So even then though, because of that though, yeah, something's worth mentioning. So, I don't suppose there's anything else to be said, I'm afraid, guys, because, well, up until when it gets to the point until likely about next few days, whenever I get back into this game until at some point this Friday, well, not so much any forms of tomorrow, though, because I'm mainly going to be focusing on Pac-Man World tomorrow, no as such, before I manage to conclude that Let's Play around, I would say almost the exact same time as the Halloween event on Journey Forms of what else in October, because, well, we're not going to mention about that specific, later portions throughout at some point whenever we get to that point. But for now on, though, yeah, because I accidentally set some of this stuff from before, from the likes of, well, let's just say yesterday, for example, about the fact that I was able to take a break from Pac-Man World whenever I just managed to get into the 5th world on the first half of World 5. But I decided able to go for likely, no matter what though, I think I should probably go for likely, both parts in, draining world parts and all that such, because obviously that the majority of the worlds in Pac-Man World, as far as I'm aware, doesn't take nearly as long. Well, sometimes it might take forever to able to finish, unless if you're going after those, you know, those collectibles and all that such. But honestly, I'm probably gonna do that on my own time, just for the sake of for that matter. But either way though, that's besides the point. So anywho though, again, not much else to really talk about this, I'm afraid, just because, well, until when it gets to the point, I'll probably should mention more details about the Tokyo Game Show stuff at some point on, specifically this Friday, because, well, oh, that reminds me of something about the fact that we're Friday this week. Oh, no, I just realized we're having an unlucky day for this week. Oh, god damn it. Anyway, though, yeah, because you know how the fact that with the 13 was definitely the most unluckiest number of them all. But even then, I'm actually really not looking forward to the 13th day on Friday as it is, because, well, otherwise I was able to get myself my whole bunch of bad luck. Or especially noticeable how the fact that some things managed to screw me over in doing that some form or another, which either way though, that it could be reminds me of something as usually when it comes to that specific stimulations, and yeah, it's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? And also there's another thing about the unlucky day, which is the 13th of September, is that will be exactly the same day as Demon X Monica type of game on the Nintendo Switch will be released on the exact same day as the unlucky 13th day. So yeah, nothing come across as that specific worth promoting for, so I have no idea why. So anyways, so let's go ahead and take care of these multi-moles here, and we could able to actually continue things on from this point. So yeah, with these bubbles right there, you can able to actually use them as you can able to actually just jump onto them and then act out like some sort of a spring. So even then though, because of that though, hopefully though, you should able to actually make yourselves comfortable if you likely try to able to not fall down to the bottomless pit down below, unlike I accidentally died on during the pit of spikes on specifically the second special world or anything like that. Hopefully the special stage World 3 won't be that hard, but still, it might be pretty challenging for some players. But either way though, let's go up here to able to get ourselves, what else? The forms of some more beads to able to actually just to collect, and to top it off, if we manage to able to gather all of them for that specific room, then we might actually come across into specifically, assuming if we can able to grab some of these, then we get ourselves a nice little smiley flower, so even then know how to offer that. So, but some people seem to say about the fact that they'll easily miss out on that specific smiley flower for their first time playing through this. Just want to point things out because even then though, that'll be the pretty easy to miss smiley flower to begin with. So even then though, yeah, I just want to classify that. So anyway, again, I'm just pretty much almost running out of ideas at this point when it comes to, like, news alike, because there are some interesting parts, while some of them aren't that interesting to me, though. Well, apart from the fact that, one thing I forgot to mention about this ever since enjoying likes of it about a couple of days ago, potentially, and that was the fact that in my, you know, Super Mario Galaxy 2 Let's Play on these Green Star runs, I completely forgot to mention about that one particular game is about to come out by the forms of Game Freak, who also did make the forms of the Pokemon series, of course. And you know that particular game calls it Town back then, but now it got its final name of the actual game, which I think it's actually calls it Little Town Hero, which is kind of a weird name, but I could assure you because of how the fact that the little hero might be the only chosen one or something like that. It might be hard for me to explain about that particular game because, well, to be honest with you, I wasn't really looked upon that particular gameplay footage all that much just because, well, honestly, I was more into the forms of Mario and Sonic stuff, so even then, that might be considered this a little bit more accounted for. So, Apart from the fact that, well, originally I was about to be able to actually get back into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate whenever I managed to able to go through all the classic modes as all the characters on that particular game. As well as from that though, I weren't able to actually get myself all these spirits on that particular game. Although, the trouble is though, is the fact that if you really want to get them super easily, well, mainly with the forms of the legendary ones, because, well, if you're trying to go after the legendary ones, that can be really tough and difficult to able to beat them. But if you really want to go for the easiest method as possible, is the fact that you can able to purchase them for the shop. But the trouble is though, they are pretty dang pricey when if you're trying to able to purchase the legendary spirits to begin with. But I'm just saying, because either way though, that might be some consumption. So anyways, let's hover through this point here and get ourselves the fifth and the final smiley flower, and let's just go slightly down here, and hopefully, God forbid, trying to able to be very careful not to fall down from here. I'm still missing that one particular... I have no idea what it is to me. I have no idea what's up with me. And besides, this, I think this gonna happen every single time whenever I just manage to able to go through these levels like this. Holy crap, I always attempt to miss out on a lot of things, especially noticeable with these little Miiverse patches and all that such. But hopefully though, whenever we finish up with this level, especially with this next boss fight right here, then I should be able to actually find this last piece. So, this tangle of yarn here looks familiar. Ah, it's a Yoshi. I'm tired of Yoshi's ruining my life, ruining my plans. Hey you, minion, I need you to stop this Yoshi from getting past here. Although the good thing about it though, is the exact same boss fight as you normally do from the first world, except, well, basically this time around though, I'm assuming that he got himself his helmet or somewhat, but the biggest difference is this time is the fact that we need to use these yarn balls, so that way you can able to actually knock him out with a whole bunch of towers of multi-moles, as you can see. So even though once you deal with all that, then Ramsey repeats, and then you have to ground pound onto its weak spot, which is his butt. So, but here's the main factor about this, is the fact that I was assuming that he does this, specific attack, just like in World 1, but it might be a little bit more sidetrack of all that such, because I know it's been such a... Oh, God! Oh, that's just great. This means I'm might as well able to replay that level again on my own time, so... In addition with that, I still need to find... the actual Miiverse stamp patch to begin with. So because of that though, there's going to be a multitude of there's going to be a multitude of replaying this particular level. Well, I'm only going to do this for one attempt on that particular point, and how do I miss that? Okay, there we go. And then, you know, if you hit him for about 3 times, then that's the actual boss fight done. So even though I think that takes care of this level though, not 100% sadly, just because... Well, as I said before, we were actually missing out one of those freaking Miiverse stamp patches, and also I felt a little bit slightly clumsy when it comes to likely dealing with that particular boss fight without taking any damage. But oh well though, things just happen sometimes. But anyways though, and I believe, after we completely done with that particular level right here, I believe we actually come across into probably the most useful power badge in the whole entire game. If, for those of you who have not found any of the secrets yet, which there are smiley flowers, if you couldn't tell, and as well as from that, the actual power badges, as far as I'm aware. And also, the same applies by the forms of, well, basically for every single collectibles though, really. So I'll meet you guys back on the forms of the final Miiverse patch on this level, and especially noticeable not to take a hit on that particular boss fight. Well, you already seen how this level plays out, so I'll meet you guys back. Alright, so I finally found out is the fact that with this hidden cloud, and basically what this does with that power badge I've equipped, this allows you to see what the hidden items are going to be, so I just want to point things out. Alright, so I managed to able to completely done with that level with a proper better attempt on it this time. And by the way, for those of you probably wondering, yes, I've already mentioned about this before, about that little particular drawing of that particular flower. Well, in order to actually get that is the fact that, well, you need to collect every single items on your first attempt. Because if you somehow don't and focusing on something else, well, you're probably not gonna get it. So even then though, that'll be the ultimate challenge, especially in these special worlds. So even then though, because I just want to point things out right away. But I don't think you get anything for it if you manage to able to accomplish that particular task at one hand. But I'm just want to point things out. So here we go, on to level 3-5, and yes, I think I should probably equip this more often, which is the hidden stuff, or in this case some hidden items if you couldn't tell. And I'll show that off whenever we jump in. So here we go with Fliffling, Bluffing, Babysitting. And as far as I'm aware for this particular level, we actually come across into this particular gimmick. And that was the fact that with these little birdie creatures, as you can see, what you can do with them is the fact that, well, you can able to actually aim at them or use those to aim them at any point to create the cloud platforms, which I think it does really help though. And yeah, as you can see, with those little beads that is shining, that is constantly shining from for that particular point, this actually represents that's where the actual secret is actually hiding. So that's the reason why I'm always gonna able to actually equip that specific power badge, as you can see, because, well, I will admit though, it is very, very useful, especially noticeable how the fact that if I had some struggles with the game so far, especially noticeable with how the fact that if you really want to find hidden goodies and all as such, then this is a power badge for you, because either way though, that you probably already know exactly where that is. So even then, it's definitely a good recommendation of that particular, power badge to begin with. So because of that, though, there's nothing else to be, all things to be said, considering for that much. So, and I suppose another thing I forgot to mention about this is the fact that, speaking of another point of the actual Nintendo Direct recently, they're actually going to be bringing us to ourselves a new mode on Tetris 99, despite the fact that I haven't exactly got that particular game just yet, because as soon as I found out that Tetris 99 is getting a physical version here and there as well, which actually contains not only the game itself, but also the 12-month membership voucher thing, which it could be helpful though, especially because, well, if you really want to experience online completely on Nintendo Switch nowadays, is that, well, because I remember back in 2017, when the actual Nintendo Switch was first released, that I seem to even to still remember that the actual online services department, specifically for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and as well as, I would say Splatoon 2 as well, and also same applies for, most other games here and there as well. Most notably with, I would say Mario Tennis Aces here and there itself as well. And, I think that's about it, obviously. So even then, though, that I remember those, Switch games, as far as I'm aware, they did at least offer you to able to use the Nintendo Switch, online stuff for free. So, but unfortunately, during the forms of, 2018 and onwards, it might actually be something to do with the actual payments this time around, which, honestly, I don't mind it, but it's just that, well, it might be a little bit of a waste of money if you manage to able to actually hold up for quite a long time, which it can be same applies by the forms of the PlayStation 4 and all as such, which, I still haven't managed to access to that though, because as far as I'm aware, compared to the actual prices between the PlayStation 4 Gold Plus on that specific PlayStation Plus subscription, compared to the forms of the actual Nintendo Switch Online 12-month membership service, I've noticed that the actual Switch Online membership services vouchers was actually cost a little bit lesser compared to the forms of how it does it on the PlayStation 4 counterpart. I think this is mainly due to the fact that with the forms of likely, although then again, it's hard to explain about this specific stuff sometimes because, well, speaking of which, actually, I haven't really played that much of my PS3 as of now because, well, the only time I'm actually playing my PS3 from time to time is, of course, just doing a Let's Play of Pac-Man World, and that's what I'm here for. But unfortunately, I can't play PlayStation 2 stuff on my PlayStation 3 because, after all, I still got the Slim version as opposed to the original model because, well, some people seem to say about the fact that they might be forewarning with that particular, the most common issue on, specifically the original, fat PS3, or in this case, the original PlayStation 3 model, or in this case, the OG PlayStation 3 for short. Basically, that's how the fact that you weren't able to stumble across the most common issue, which is the yellow light of death. which I know some people seem to be able to come across as that issue whenever they first brought the PS3. And I think that's the perfect example about the fact that I'm always trying to able to aim for, specifically trying to able to go for the slim version instead, because, well, I just feel like I'm always comes to that specific minds and all that such, well, apart from those occasional stuttering moments here and there, but either way though, that's not the point right there. So, and another thing I just wanted pointing out right away is the fact that we've only got about 6 more days to go until, you know, Castle Crashers Remastered will get its release treatment on, you know, Nintendo Switch. You know, sadly to say, there's no PS4's release date on it so far. And why do I always get hit by these stupid piranha plants like these? And as a matter of fact, I really can't guarantee I can able to achieve, you know, the 20 health points system, so... And by the way, I think this might, for this section right there, I think you might actually only get 1 attempt on this particular, getting this piece of yarn, because if you somehow did it a little bit too late or somewhat, basically you're probably not going to grab that or somewhat, so even then I just want to point things out. So anyways, let's restore our health, but I'm pretty sure we're actually on the halfway point on that specific health point, so I really can't guarantee I can able to actually just, well, complete this level entirely though, sadly, just because, well, I just seriously got owned by that specific projectile for that specific green piranha plants, and that's pretty unfair if you ask me, especially noticeable how the fact that, oh goodness gracious. Anyways, let's go ahead and use this thing for quite a few distance notice, and whenever we reach for this point, then the level's done. So even now, let's see what we got. Another bonus game, so... could have expected about the fact that we might actually come across into a lot of bonus games for this video. Although it might be attempted a little bit dragged on at points though, but I will admit though, but either way though, I think the reason why we might actually go back to the bonus games is because, well, just to able to grind for some more of those beads to begin with. And yeah, unfortunately I can't able to actually get 100% on that level because, well, I just simply got owned by, you know, that particular projectile as I said before, so... oh well though, I'm also able to actually do that on my own time off screen, so generally you get the gist of it. So hopefully though, things doesn't really bother me as much though, I will admit though, but even then I will gather as many fruits as we could. So even then hopefully, oh, I missed that orange! I missed that piece of orange! Oh well. I'll take 2,200 beats any day, but either way though, we'll leave it up to that. So I think fundamentally though, guys, I think I should probably do one more level for this video, because I know for the fact I said this before already, but I'm gonna say that again, is that I would, assuming I'm also able to do, you know, 4 levels per video, well, specifically by the forms of likely, but due to that specific timeline, then, you know, you get the idea. Fliffling, Bluffing, Yoshi, that the new Yoshi we actually got. And we're now actually going to get into the forms of levels 3-6, so yeah, it seems more accurately, we're almost nearly towards the end of World 3, so even then though, that hopefully though, we're able to actually get those down as soon as we could. So here we go with amazing post-pounding. And for this particular level, once again, I'm actually going to be equipped in this, because although it might be a little bit pricey on that specific part, but there will be some rare occasions where we can definitely come across into try one for free, limited time offer thing at some point. So, even though it might actually cost about likely 500 beads on this this particular stamp, so, or the power badge as far as I want to say, but even though that's besides the point. So even though, let's just go ahead and ground pound here to the left. So we know those things from the likes of, oh, I just realized we haven't got any of those woolly balls left. Actually, no matter what though, I think I should probably retry that level again, so yeah, that's probably my fault. Because I did not even notice about the fact that there aren't any of those, you know, woolly ball block storage or anything like that from the very beginning. So you have to use that specific bat over there, all these little swoops enemies. So that way you can able to actually just eat them up and transform them into these woolly balls to begin with. So even then that way we can get ourselves not only the actual first woolly piece, but also by the forms of, what else? Some Miiverse beads and such. So yeah, everything's all accounted for, so even then, as far as you can probably guys can clearly tell, we're on the maze level, so to be expected, we need to figure out which one is the correct pathway until when it leads us to the exit. Although the catch is, though, I'm pretty sure this level might actually contains a key somewhere, so even then, chances are we might as well able to actually keep on exploring around and all that such, so either way, though, not much else to really tell about that specific point for that point. But yeah, you know. Oh yeah, with these little, ground pounding little, platforms, as you can see, all these little, ground pound, looking objects, we've already seen these before, ever since in World 2, but, this time around, though, it's gonna be the main focus of this, though, because, you know what the actual title of this level itself is called? It calls it Amazing Post-Pounding, meaning about the fact that we need to keep on using, the ground pound technique before you're able to do anything, so either way though, chances are, because we've already come across into these yellow and purple and these green ones essentially ever since recently, but there's also this blue variation, which if you manage to ground pound that, you're able to actually launch yourself back up, and even especially noticeable at some point, you're able to actually just manage to toss you all the way up to the, you know, the continuation of the progression of the level, so even then though, that, well, you probably get the idea for that specific point, so even then we'll, manage able to leave up to that, so yeah, if you see that little arrows right there, then it'll able to tell you where you're supposed to go, but the ultimate thing about this is that, well, obviously we need to get that key to begin with, so that way you could able to actually just able to continue your progression with that specific level, so but even then, it's one of pointing out. So anyways, let's go ahead and, you know, activate something for here. Specifically, some more secrets, including the actual smiley flower. And, hopefully, though, we won't be missing out on that specific goddamn, Miiverse stamp for the time being. Up until, like, I wouldn't say that out loud, honestly, because, well, every time, whenever I go to the later levels, sometimes things just happen whenever I keep on forgetting stuff. Well, to be more exactly, the Miiverse stamps patches to begin with, so yeah, that's that little door over there, but then again, we need to get the key to able to actually continue progression, so I don't think this level wasn't that long though, assuming if you're trying to able to grab everything, likely the Miiverse patches, as I said before, as well as the smiley flowers, and let's not forget to ourselves the forms of well, the pieces of yarn to able to restore one of the Yoshis, so yeah, everything else will come together for this one form or another, but even then, no, that's besides the point, so anyway, so at least we got a checkpoint though, so that's the only good thing about it, so even then, I just want to just classify that, so anywho though. But then again, there's not much else I can really talk about this, I'm afraid, guys. But don't worry, whenever we get to Friday or tomorrow, whenever I get back to Pac-Man World, I would able to mention a lot of things to talk about, specifically for the Tokyo Game Show this year. So, now I think the reason why that particular swoop just managed to go to the other side instead of I was expecting to able to let him go to the left side, well, because I need to get myself the piece of yarn so that you can able to, you know, just restore one of the Yoshis, and that's all there is to know. But either way though, we'll try that again later on though, but for now on, we'll just, you know, fly all the way to that specific segment worth noting for, and, you know, not much else to say. So even then, I think we need to, ground pound that specific, pink panel right here, so hopefully we could able to actually discover something a little bit more secrecy about that specific stuff. And I think with that present gift right there, I think that might actually contains, well, the actual key itself. So even then, we'll able to come across into that for just a moment. But for now, we'll grab the smiley flower as this, and well, vice versa though, really. So even then, until when we get to the point until whenever we do Yoshi's Crafted World at some point next year, as I said before, it'll be entirely different when it comes to the actual happy flowers and all that stuff, when it comes to that specific system. But even then, we're not going to get into more details about that yet though, until whenever we decide to do that Let's Play of the game, so... But anywho though, there's not much else to say, so even then, let's go ahead and go back down here. Because, you know, with these Miiverse patches and all that such, I really do apologize I didn't speak all that well today, but for this point, because, well, because, you know, just mainly just trying to concentrate on that specific jumping skills for one thing. And second is the fact that, well, if I was gonna able to talk too fast on that specific commentary on that stuff, well, for whatever reason, I almost felt a little bit slightly fainted. Well, at least, for that particular point at this point, is the fact that, autumn is getting closer to its, you know, it's that specific month so far, so even though at this point that most of these, trees or even leaves as a result might eventually turn into likely, brown color and all that such, which, either way though, because, you know, we are pretty sure we're pretty much done with, summer as this until 2020, which is next year, until when it gets to the point until June, July, and eventually August, and around that time, there will be Summer Olympics in Tokyo, so that'll be pretty exciting though for me though, to able to actually, watch that specific, you know, Tokyo 2020 Olympics around the same day, around the same time, as playing through Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 on that particular timeline. So because of that though, because, you know, much like in Sochi 2014, despite the actual Let's Play of the game is actually a little bit more hit and miss. Like, for instance, like, the quality itself is okay. I mean, it's just the commentary is a little bit too damn quiet, which, you know, can be the same applies for Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games, as well as, you know, the Olympic Winter Games, the original game. Not so bad on the original Olympic Games though, as well as the Rio 2016, which is currently the recent one. Well, not now though anyway though, because, well, eventually until 2 months time, or in this case for this matter though, almost about a month time ahead, then it will finally get its Tokyo 2020, that is usually what it gets for the video game for Mario and Sonic. But anyways, though, we got ourselves a secret room here, which actually contains a lot of, jumping on enemies chain reaction right here, by, you know, keep on bouncing onto that specific swoop badge to get ourselves, what else, a smiley flower, I believe the 5th and final one was actually at the very end of the level, so even then I was one to point things out, so for now on though, we need to be able to backtrack for a little bit, just in case if I accidentally don't miss on something, so even then I will, ground pound all the way from down here, and we could able to actually come across into ourselves, this particular unravel ribbon right here, so that way we can come across into another transformation sequence, but it's more accurately exactly the same transformation as we already know, is, of course, more Yoshi. So even then, hopefully we can get some more, Mifa stamp pieces, as well as, what else? I think this might actually be the last, piece of yon location where it's going to be located. So even then, hopefully we'll get some time. So even then, no idea why I just managed to wasting time exploring for the majority of this section, because I just get a little bit of a sense of, feeling with, you know, with the Mifa's, patches and all that such. So even then, I will, leave it up to that. So, anywho though, aside from everything else though, well, CapKing74 hasn't gone back into YouTube recently because, well, at the moment for the time, it's the fact that, oh, wait, I need to grab that clock. Quick. Oh, thank you. Whew, that was pretty close though. But let's just hope if we don't run out of time on that specific part right there, because, well, the only questionable thing about this is the fact that, well, you'll probably see why in just a moment, but anyways, let's see if I could... Oh, wait, where I'm going? I meant to go back. No! Ah, the goal is right there. Ah, god damn it. So yeah, what happens is, though, is the fact that if your time actually runs out, this means you must able to grab those items again, which, it doesn't really, save it all that much compared to the forms of how it does it in, the transformation sequences in Kirby's Epic Yarn. Actually, go think about it, though. One thing I forgot to mention about this ever since the very beginning of this Let's Play, if you somehow get hit by these, dangerous hazards, or even enemies as a result on these, transformation sequences, is that you will lose your time in the process. I think you might actually lose about likely 5 seconds, so yeah, I just want to classify that because even then, there's one little thing I forgot to mention about that, so I just want to, you know, point things out because, you know, I just forgot to be able to tell you guys about that and during, you know, up until recently. So even then, hopefully we'll get this for a much more better attempt, and sure enough, we're able to actually get the heck out of here, so there we go. So I think that pretty much takes care of this level though. Well, aside from the actual questionable item I missed out on, but that'll be for later. But for now, let's just go in inside this little door over there. And there's no way we can able to backtrack on it, I'm afraid. But apart from all that side of things, there's this little giant spring little thing right here, so we can launch ourselves all the way up. But before we do that, let's go ahead and grab these little beads. Oh, really? I'm always missing one! Jeez, this is the second time this happened for this video. Ay, ay, ay. Hopefully, though, I might as well find that until whenever we get to the very end of this video. And another bonus game, so I don't mind about it too much, though, because, well, obviously, we need to grab more of those beads before we're able to keep continuously using that, secret, you know, power badge most of the time. So because of that, though, hopefully it'll give me a better time for able to search for that specific stuff. So why is it always one left with that specific Miiverse stamp? I just really don't get it. But anyways, though, let's see what the next bonus game looks like. Oh yeah, we got ourselves these things again. But this time around, though, we can able to actually just to collect fruit while doing so. So even then, though, we'll gather as many of them as we could. Even though it's kind of a shame, though, because, well... Oh, wait. Why did I just manage to ignore that watermelon? Oh, jeez, that was pretty dumb of me for my, circumstances like that. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so let's go ahead and grab some more of these little fruits. And, yeah, I get a feeling we're probably not going to grab as many, so... Oh, well, though. It might be pretty tricky when it comes to doing like that. So even then, I will, leave it up to that as it is. So... And fundamentally, though, I think we actually got about 3 more levels to go in World 3. So even then, though, and then once we're done with all that, then we can pretty much move on to the halfway point of Yoshi's Woolly World when that time comes. So, seriously, it's been a little bit more quicker than I was expecting. Well, assuming if you're able to try to continuously exploring for those, you know, the future points, most notably with those collectibles. So... Either way, though, that'll be for the later video at some point this Friday. It's one of point things out. And I'll meet you guys back for the final time for this video. And then, hopefully we might as well find the, you know, the godforsaking of that particular Miiverse patch thing or anything like that. So, here we go. Another jump cut once again. Alright, so, in this particular part right there, you notice there's actually a checkpoint right there. But, if we drop down all the way here... Then this happens. Son of a biscuit! It's right there. Anyway, and whenever I managed to finally found that, well, I accidentally stumbled across another bonus game, which I think that might be a perfect time to show that off. Which, at this point in time, is the fact that we might actually come across into those new sets of, well, bonus game stages or what have you. So even then, hopefully, though, I'm probably not going to replay that level again, to be honest with you, because, well, oh my god, it's so much stuff to do. But anyways, now we come across into this bonus, stage right here, which we now need to do in these little tilting platforms, which, to be expected ever since in World 2, is that if you tilt it a little bit too far, or anything like that, well, obviously you're going to let the platform might be a little bit more loose balance or what have you, so... But anyways, though, so let's go ahead and grab... Oh, I think we actually got almost the exact same amount as the previous bonus stage, or the previous bonus game, or what have you. But I'm fine with, because, well, you know, I'm also able to keep on using that specific badge, or that power badge, until for likely for later on, though, as it is, as I said before. But anyways, though, so that takes care of that particular level completely, though, from now on. And I guess I'll probably just end things off at this point here. So, tune me next time on Let's Play Yoshi's Woolly World, is that we might actually go ahead and wrap things up with World 3 by going through World 3-7, World 3-8, and eventually World 3-S. So, even though that might be a little bit more of a busy work. So, see you guys then. Later, fellas.